Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode of the vlogs. Today the sun is out and the sun is shining in between the heinous weather we've been having over the last few days as we have a lovely storm going over Britain. But what that does mean, unfortunately, with the new training block, which I'll be talking about this week, the water proponent that was going to be starting this week is going to have to reduce, because the water that we're going to row on, unfortunately, either is terrible or flooded, which is not great to get the boat on. But this week I'm hopefully getting, or will be getting, a single, and then we'll be getting on the water as soon as possible to get what I've been doing on the ergs, the technique I've been focusing on the ergs, the new strength, new fitness that I've gained, putting that onto the water, and then hopefully getting more and more used to the water and also getting my sculling ability increased as we progress through 2020. But today we also have the last workout of Road Royalty, the online indoor rowing competition that I've been taking part in over the past few weeks. So there's been 4 workouts, 1 a week. Today is 10 minutes flat out, getting or going as far as you possibly can. So I have a rough estimate of what to do. Some of the guys have been doing sort of around 1:35 for 10 minutes, and I know I can do as a PB for my 5k a few years ago was 1:34, so I want to go faster than 1:35, but we're going to get on the erg and see what happens. Partly the 2k was this weekend, so I don't want to go too flat out, don't want to sort of dig myself into a hole unnecessarily at the start of a training block, and also partly there is a little bit of sort of strategy with the placings going on right now. Since the first workout of the event meant that the points were quite spread out, I can't move my place up really. It just all depends on or it's all focused on staying in that one place to see how we do. So I'm currently sitting in second, and now we're going to finish up walking the puppies, head to the gym, get on the erg, get this 10 minutes done, see how it goes, and then we'll see what we've got to do for the rest of the day. Oh yeah! And we've made it into the gym. Charlie started his workout that's supposed to be on the program for today for both of us, but as I've mentioned, we've got the Road Royalty workout, which is just 10 minutes, and see how much ground you can cover. So I've modified the 2k warm up a little bit, so I'm taking out the minute of pace. I've done some UT1 so at a minute, I've done some bursts, done some UT2, and I'm a little bit warm, a little bit sweaty. I've got a top on, so I'm keeping the warmth, and then we're going to just go 10 minutes flat out, and then we'll kind of talk about the strategy after to see if the strategy that I want to do applies to the performance. But now we're going to set the monitor up, nice and simple, single time only. So here we go, folks. And there we go. Road Royalty 2020 online rowing competition complete. So, ahead of target, I was targeting around 34.5, but I had some juice in the last 2 minutes, so I thought really focusing on the techers this time, bringing it down, so I ended up 34s for 8 minutes, then 30 for 2 minutes. Just again, fiddling around, tried to get a bit longer just to see what would happen, because I knew I had some gas if I did blow up, or was going to blow up, to keep going. And then last sort of 10, just play around with shortening up a little bit when I'm in control, rather than at the end of the 2K in Paris, just shortening up because I was losing control. But now it's time to recover, and one key part of recovery is food, because remember, food is fuel. So I'm going to catch my breath, a little bit of movement here, and then head out of the gym for recovery. Oh yeah! And we've made it back post fueling up, post ergo, post catching my breath, post recovery, after the lovely 10 minutes to try and get as far as I can for the Road Royalty workout. And as you saw, 133.6, which I finished the erg and I was like, okay, yep, finished. And then I realized that's actually a good bit faster than I kind of realized, if that makes sense. So, like I said earlier, my 5k PB is 134, but I haven't really been close to that for a few years. And then doing 10 minutes there at 133.6, obviously it's about 6 minutes longer, the 5k, but the ease in which I did the first 8 minutes at sort of 134 was very, very surprising. So it bodes well for doing longer distance stuff, and the actual fitness gains I have that I couldn't quite use in the 2k on Saturday just because I was essentially got too excited. But actually it's really positive, 133.6 for 10 minutes. And like I said, I actually did it undercooked it, and so I could have went faster, but the reason I undercooked it is, one, just did the 2k and don't want to overcook the beginning of this new training block, and two, with this workout as part of the Road Royalty workout series, it's the last workout and I was, I think, 15 or so points behind first place, and then I think 15 or so ahead of third place. So for me to lose 15 points, I would have to be 15 places behind third place if third place was going to take over me, and then with first place to catch up, I would have to essentially be negative 15 to gain enough points, and that's not going to happen. So it looks like currently I'm sitting in second place. Everything has to be confirmed. So really it's been really interesting experience. I've never done sort of the online rowing competition, but it's really funny. Like, a lot of the guys will be like, oh, how did you do? And you'll be like stalking the stories of the people to see if they posted their scores, and then kind of just saying, oh, do I post my score now? Do I wait till later? Do I want to give someone an advantage if they haven't done a workout to see how they do? So definitely prepared a little bit more for the next time I try or do something like this, but it's been a real pleasure to be part of it. And the people that have done it before really sort of took me in and gave me some advice, whether it was strategy through the first, second or third piece that we did, or whether it was questions about, okay, when are you doing your workout? When's the best time to do it? When should I post and everything like that. So really positive there, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. But now, a little bit more recovery, and we get to head into the gym for the beginning of the weights, for the beginning of the training block. So, a little bit of rest, perhaps a little bit of a nap, and then to the gym. Oh yeah! we've made it back to the house post-training for the day. A lovely weight session there and changing up the training in general pretty much from now, as the 10 minutes, the Road Royalty workout was almost a requirement to finish off the Road Royalty online rowing competition. Not necessarily a part of the program, but again, that's one of the benefits of training sort of individually. You can do kind of not whatever you want, but if you have to adjust the program slightly, so for example, not this week, but in previous weeks when we were going in for the 2K in Paris, it was, okay, we have this Road Royalty workout to do, specifically the 400 by 5, we did that workout instead of another workout. So that kind of really benefited. We could change the program on the fly. And that was instead of a steady workout. So again, balancing things out. But now, as we go forward, there isn't anything but now, going forward, it's all about getting a big training block in, which I'm going to be talking about probably tomorrow as we switch into fully concentrating on the big training block. But that's all I'm going to say about that. But basically from now going forward, it's training, if that makes sense. But I'll talk about that tomorrow, whether that's the type of weights I'm doing, which we saw today there in the gym, or a little bit of it anyway, the type of training I'll be doing, which is changing from what I've been doing before Paris. And I'll probably talk about the training I was doing before Paris and the reason we're doing the training that I was doing before Paris, and then I'll be talking about why I'll be doing the training going forward. And it's a really exciting time because I get to sort of say, okay, one block, a shorter block, so we had about 6 weeks of training, is done, and you can kind of say, okay, this is where we went with that 6 weeks, and now we've got a bit longer because before it was, okay, we've got the target of Paris at the Indoor World Rowing Championships, so we had a time limit. But now there's not so much of a time limit, so we're making a bigger training block. But again, I'll be talking about that tomorrow, and really excited to be doing so. And we'll talk about the rowing as well that will be coming into the training block going forward. But unfortunately, as I spoke about at the beginning of today's vlog, and as you probably heard in the wind noise, the weather has been pretty heinous this weekend. So the aim was to get on the water, but we'll kind of see through the week if the weather brightens up, evens out, stops being rubbish. But again, speak about that tomorrow, about sort of moving forward and what training I'm going to be doing. But that will be it for today's episode, Jam Squad. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Really enjoyed doing the Road Royalty online rowing competition. Again, it's a first for me, just like the Paris Indoor World Championships were the first indoor championships I've done. And it's all just a case of new experiences for me, and it's learning from those experiences. So I really want to sort of take part in more of these online rowing competitions, and we'll see. That's like I said earlier, it doesn't necessarily have to match the training program, but again, I'm still training towards certain goals, so I don't want to sort of say, oh, I'm going to commit to this or that competition and then have to sort of say, oh, well, I can't actually do that because this is a goal I'm going to and that goal doesn't match, if that makes any sense. But that will be it for today's episode, Jam Squad. Hopefully you have enjoyed it, and as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I'll see you tomorrow where we'll discuss the next 8 to 12 weeks. Oh yeah!